While tricks may only be for kids, fairy tales are not. If you are a dedicated watcher of the WordNerds, you probably know that I kind of love fairy tale retellings. Hence my obsession with the TV show Once Upon a Time. But really, that finale? But in addition to enjoying a TV show that retells fairy tales, I also love books that do that. What I love about fairy tale retelling books is that there are so many different ways that you can retell a fairy tale, and there's so many fairy tales out there to retell. It almost felt like a tongue twister. So today I'm going to share with you two of my favorite fairy tale retellings, and they are both very different types of retellings because I kind of like them all. First is a slightly older book, which is The Goose Girl by Shannon Hale. This book is based on a lesser-known fairy tale. It's by the Brothers Grimm, called The Goose Girl. And while it is based on a fairy tale that you might not be familiar with, it's a very classic retelling, I guess would be the way to describe it. The basic storyline pretty closely follows the original fairy tale. It's about a princess who is engaged to be married to a foreign prince, and while she is on her way to her soon-to-be husband's kingdom for the first time, her lady's maid and some of the guards revolt and leave her for dead in the forest, and her lady's maid decides to pretend to be her and marry the prince instead. And so she goes to her new kingdom and pretends to be a goose-keeping girl, hence the title, and of course she falls in love and fights to reclaim her title and her position and her name. And it's just a great book. I really love it. If you, for some reason, have not read this one yet, I know it's fairly popular and it's been out for a while. It is really, really good. I love it. I've read it multiple times because it's just so good and it's really happy. And the second book I have is Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hodge. It just came out this year. It is the author's first book, like Goose Girl was for Shannon Hale. I think of it kind of as the opposite to Goose Girl because it is based on a very popular and very well-known fairy tale, Beauty and the Beast, but unlike Goose Girl, it is not a classic retelling at all. It is very, very different from the original story. Cruel Beauty blends the fairy tale of Beauty and the Beast with Greek mythology. It also mixes in a little sprinkling of the Rumpelstiltskin story because the main character's father makes a deal with a demon so that his wife can have children, and in return he has to give one of those two daughters, because she has twins, to the demon as his bride. This demon is in control of their whole land. They are cut off from the rest of the world, and Nyx, the main character, has been trained her whole life to kill this demon who will be her husband. But of course, it is based on Beauty and the Beast, so not everything is as it seems. There is a lot of mystery. It kept me guessing the whole time, which is hard to do for a book sometimes. And I really, until the very end, did not know how everything was going to work out. I was very worried. But it is so beautifully written. I loved this book. I read it in 2 days, but then I did not read another book for another 4 days because all I could do was think about this book. I think my favorite thing about it is that the main character is a very, very flawed human being. She has a lot of problems, but you still root for her, and she still gets to be the heroine of her own story. And I love that she's not the very perfect Belle that you normally get in fairy tales. I love Beauty and the Beast and I love Belle, but I love this different take that she wasn't kind and almost naive and believing the best in everyone. She's pretty much the opposite of the typical Belle character. Hopefully, if you are looking for a retelling of a fairy tale, that will give you somewhere to start. Whether you are looking for a retelling of a classic that you know well or a fairy tale that you have not heard of before, whether you're looking for something that is very traditional fairy tale-esque or something that is a little different and twisted, there are fairy tale retellings of every kind out there. Let me know what some of your favorites are. I will see you guys on Sunday when we will be talking about rejection and how to handle it when you are just really feeling down in the dumps because of it.